Okay, so what I'm gonna tell you is I love the movie so much because I've been a victim of catfishing at a certain time in my life, and I felt the details were so accurate. Really, you nailed it to a T. So kudos to you. Seriously, I'm impressed.
Thank you, Jalen. Oh my gosh, because I'm a catfish. Just kidding. No,
Oh, now
but
that's spooky. Off to
no,
the start.
no. The truth is, it's a true story. It's a true story, and we were very closely in touch with the victim, and so she really provided so many details. She was so helpful. We had a 2 hour Zoom, and anytime I had questions, like even during the shoot, like how does this work? Did this happen this way? And then she would, yeah.
This is
So
so
that's why
awesome.
it's yeah.
Yeah, wow. So this is what I was going to ask you. What drew you to this project? Why were you interested in making it into this movie?
So I think so. Remember lockdown? Remember when it all locked down during COVID, and everybody was in their homes, and everyone was so, like we paranoid and scared, and we didn't know what was gonna happen. It's kind of sad. The character of well, the girl Janzen was based on um put up a long Twitter thread.
Wow.
Like it was like how when it's Twitter thread it keeps continuing to the next thread, and then at one point the like, oh, for the next part go here because they were already past the allotted Twitter.
Yeah, that's my
So
style on
I
Twitter.
so we cut and paste everything. It was 19 pages long, the
Wow.
whole narrative. Yeah. So and there's actually a lot more that wasn't in the film, and so but I think everybody kind of like talked about it. Everybody like posted about it. It was like kind of like, and because everybody was in their homes, just kind of like that was like the entertainment for everyone, like her thread. And I remember I opened it up at 2 a.m. and I couldn't put it down. I was like, wow, what's this? It's like a roller coaster of emotions.
Exactly.
Um,
And this is what the
yeah, so
movie
it's like,
feels like too, because you just keep jumping from one feeling to the other, like shifting the points of view. This is just, it was brilliantly done. I love it so much, really. So
thank
what did you
you.
base the style on? Like, what style do you have in mind while making the movie?
You know what? It's so different from the first version because so the first version was actually like that movie Rashomon.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So the first version was actually it was just Janzen's story first, and you didn't know that she was being catfished, and then at the end it's revealed that it's Beanie, and then that scene in the bedroom, like she's like, "What's going on?" She's talking to what's his name, Theo,
Theo,
Dennis, and then
Dennis.
yeah, and then um it goes to his story, and then it goes like how he was a beauty pageant contestant, and then Beanie lures him and
Yeah.
tricks him. So that one is with the interspersed with the interviews, and then finally it's like Beanie, and then Beanie's like, okay, this is how everything happened. Um, so that was the original version, and it was supposed to be treated in 3 different ways. So we shot the Jansen version like a rom-com. We shot the Theo version like it was a social realist film, and then we shot Beanie like it was like Gone Girl, for example.
Yeah, in a way,
Like,
it feels like God. She's so Rosamund Pike. Although she looks like Selena Gomez, she is so beautiful. The actress, I gotta say, wow, kudos, great. Really, I want to thank you first for the casting choices, and I want to know how the casting process went because all the actors were great, really respectively. Theo was so hilariously
yes.
dumb, and I love him so much for that.
Yeah, no,
And
I love what I love about Theo is, he's like a dumb, like jock type, mimbo, but he's an independent film actor. His name is Royce Cabera, and he always plays these like male prostitute type roles because he's so buff, right? And he's so
yeah, he is very
sexy. But
handsome.
yeah, but I noticed like in his so and as a person, he's kind of like Theo, happy go lucky, like really, like always joking. But when he acts the dramatic scenes, like there's so much depth to him. Like
And
there's so
vulnerability.
much. Yeah, yeah, like that scene when he's crying after they make love, and it was like, wow, this guy is really good. And so, it's like there's really more to this guy than all the like softcore porn roles he's been doing. So,
Yeah, wow, that's wonderful.
right,
Okay.
right. So yeah,
But
we wanted to like take him out.
but this is so smart of you. I mean, like you put him in a different way. You take him out of his comfort zone. So this is what we get. We get something entirely different, and we're grateful for that. So what about
Uh,
Beanie and Janzen?
okay, well, so the very interesting story about Janzen. Janzen, of course, we really wanted to. We didn't want to a Danish girl things. No, we didn't want the Dallas Buyers
Definitely.
Club. We wanted to,
A real
I
trans
think,
woman. Uh-huh.
yeah, because I mean, the film is quite. I mean, I've done 7 films in my life, and this is the one I'm most scared about
You,
because it's something that I'm not I don't really know, right? All the sensitivity, and I wanted to stay true. I wanted to be an ally, and
definitely.
right? You don't so we cast she's a trans actress. She's
Yes.
transitioning actually. She's in the middle of transitioning, and her name is EJ. And
EJ
the funny
Jallorina,
thing,
right? Yes.
EJ Jallorina, yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, when she came to audition, she's like, Kuya Quark. Kuya means older brother. She's like, you don't remember me, no? And I'm like, no, I don't. And like when I was a child actor, you took care of me. You were a PA and you were taking care of us. Like you were like entertaining us and like because when
Wow.
long shoots, 24-hour shoots. I mean, so I'd be the one to like wrangle the kids
Oh,
and
wow.
so I'm like, oh my gosh, 20 years later,
This is
I'm
amazing.
directing you. It's so wonderful. And she's an artist, she's a photographer, she's a creative consultant on this show called Drag Den. It's a drag show, a drag TV show on Prime.
Wow.
She's really such a sensitive and wonderful soul. Like I love her so much. So
Amazing.
um
Amazing.
yeah, and then finally you have a Beanie. So Beanie is played by Maris Racal, and Maris Racal is like a pop star, and she always plays the best friend of the lead in rom-coms.
Definitely.
So we approached a lot of actresses, to be honest. Then because it's a true story, and a lot of these actresses uh kind of spoke up against Beanie. They were afraid to take on the role, right? But Maris was like, I want this role. and,
She's
and in fact,
amazing.
Maris was out. She is amazing. She was one of them, and so was also outspoken about criticizing the person based on Beanie. And she told me like, yeah, like when she was reading it, she's like, this is gonna be a movie. Why do I have a feeling I'm going to play this?
Look at her, she's awesome. She brought it into the role. You could see the fierceness. This
Yeah,
scene where they're like double masturbate. Oh, this scene was so, I don't want to give anything away, but this scene was so intense. It was so good and it was so well shot and well made. Like, I don't know, it was brilliant, really. And it was in the middle of the movie, and I loved it so much. The way you just portrayed all the schemes and stuff like that. But I want to ask you also about the
yeah,
details, the intimate feminine details. How did you get it? Like you portrayed the feminine world, friendships and girls together in a way that doesn't seem forced or, to an outsider, like, oh my God, he's just trying so hard. No, you were so
yeah.
into the point, and I loved it. How did you get all the details?
Oh, thank you. Actually, I was raised by women. My grandma, my mom, all my best friends are women. And in fact, even my films, all of the protagonists are women, and I think that really kind of like played into. I really feel like a very feminine person. Like I'm very more in touch
Wonderful.
with
In
my
touch with your
feminine
feminine
friends.
side. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
so,
It shows. It shows.
so
Only the
yay.
best ones are. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah.
High five. So, so yeah, but that's one of the things, and I think Maris really brought something because when we wrote the character for Beanie, she was more like a toughie, like kind of like like a real bully, like because the guy, the person, she's based on a shaved head and then like really like a tough girl, and but when Maris auditioned, one of the things I still wasn't sure because Maris always plays that this rom-com girl, right? Like wholesome. And one of the exercises we had her do was we had her insult every person in the room, including me, and like she destroyed, man. She was, but the way she did it was she was always smiling. She's
This is
like she look at
hilarious.
yeah, she looked like you should look at like what Royce was wearing, and she's like you have style, even though your clothes are so cheap.
Whoa, killed it. She's killing us out there.
And then it was like the switch went off in my head. I'm like, oh my god, the character has to be like this
Has
because
to be like this,
you know,
definitely. Added more depth to it. I know the reality factor should be in, but at the same time, this adds so much depth because when you look at Maris, you would never imagine, oh my God, look at this cute girl, look at her. But she's gonna stab you while you're smiling and you don't even know that she insulted you. Just wow. This added so much depth and layers to the movie, really.
oh, thanks, Jalen. Yeah. It's really like this impish because one of the things we really wanted to understand was why would she be so called? How could she? Well, number one, of course, is they spent money buying her food, buying Janzen food. They spent money getting her hotels, so they didn't con her out of anything, right? They didn't like right. So like number one, what we wanted to understand was like why are why did they do this? Like, what did they get out of this? And then
Yeah.
number two is like, why? How could she, um, basically convince all these people to just join her? So yeah, it's crazy, and so I think you needed someone like Marius who's like really, like, oh, let's play, let's,
Exactly. She's like this, like she reminds me of like this beautiful doll that could turn into a killer doll at the end of the movie. And she's just so, this is it. This is it. She's scary. Girls like her are scary in real life. Let me tell you.
yeah,
So yeah, she just,
super.
everything fit perfectly. This is why I'm like so enthusiastic about this film. And I can't wait to be able to tweet about it and just tell people like, go watch it, whatever you can. And I'm going to talk about it a lot, I'm sure, when I'm certain when to talk. But I'm so excited about it and I'm so enthusiastic about it and really did a great job transferring this real story into the screen. So what I want to know is where do you see it going from there? Like, do you plan on festivals, like big screenings and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, is there a festival in Egypt that I can
Of
submit
course,
to?
there's of course the Cairo International Festival. Definitely, there are a lot of festivals.
Oh,
Yeah,
when is that? Is that like end of the year or
it's like
is it?
November or December, something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
still after
Yeah,
the Cannes and the Berlin and all these, like times and stuff like that.
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like, I think like Slamdance was the perfect place for it to premiere because Slamdance is very like punk rock and it's very
Very,
like
very, it fits the
yeah,
vibe perfectly. Yeah, you could feel it. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Wow.
And the head of Slamdance said like, oh my God, this is like he was so thrilled because he's like, this is where yeah, are you familiar with the filmmaker Greg Araki?
Oh,
Um,
of
yeah,
course.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
the
He's like, this is where the lineage.
look, he's the head of Slamdance. Oh man,
No,
Gregor
no, no,
is
no.
yeah. But you showed
Paul
it to
Paul is the
him.
head of Slamdance.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul is he's like this is where the lineage of the Doom generation comes from. This is
Yeah,
where
yeah,
like
definitely.
and he's like I'm gonna show it to Greg. I'm gonna show it to some of the cast. Like and I love that. Like I think I really love smaller festivals where you can really get to know the audience, or you can sit down, talk to them, have a coffee with
Definitely. Yeah.
filmmakers.
You
Yeah,
could feel
so
all the
I
vibes and the stuff, and you meet a lot of interesting people too. So I totally get you. Yeah,
yeah, so
definitely.
I do want to bring it around and maybe towards the end of the year the release it commercially in the Philippines. So
Wonderful. So I just want to know where do you see yourself as a filmmaker later? Like you've made this movie and it's a different tone from all your previous movies. It's something really light but really smart done. Where do you see yourself going next?
oh, so that's the sad news. Jaylan. Well, I have a full-time job now, and for one of the streamers, and it's like it's really part of the contract. You can't direct anymore.
My goodness, really? So what are you
So
gonna do to the
yeah,
artist
so
inside you? What is this
I don't know.
artist gonna do? How are you gonna nurture it?
Well, so I know, like it's so sweet though. My boss is so sweet. She came to the screening and she's like, "This can't be your last film. We'll find a way." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know." But I'm really at this point where, I know the films I make are kind of niche, and I would like to continue because I tried everything basically from like indie films to like superhero movies to
Yes.
like big budget horror films, and I realize I'm really happy as doing this kind of film, like the smaller, more independent, dark comedies, relationship movies, and um, so I think at least having that full time job, having like that financial security allows me to kind of like when I'm ready, I'll make something. I'll find the way. I'll take a leave or
But this is
something.
but
So,
you're just saying the artist life, it goes in waves, you know. So I'm sure that whatever the wave is, you'll just go whatever it takes you, and I'm sure you'll be brilliant in it either way. So this is
uh,
just
thank,
wonderful.
thank you, Jayla. That's really nice hearing that from you. Like,
Thank
and
you
I'm
so much.
so happy, like, I mean, having read a lot of your stuff and kind of like, how deep you look at media and at movies. Like, I'm really glad that you liked it.
Thank you so much. Really, I totally enjoyed it. I'm gonna, like talk about it everywhere because I love it. When I love a movie, I'm so passionate about it, and I just want everyone to watch it. So you just see me doing all the stuff on it too, because there is a lot of layers, a lot of stuff that I want to write about it, honestly. So I'm just enjoying it and enjoying talking to
Thank
you too, picking your brain about it. It will add more depth to what I'm doing. So I'm just so happy, really.
Oh, thank you. I should get your email. What's your let me or I think yeah, Jess has your email. She can
Yeah, I
or you
can
can
share
write
it
it
with
on the chat. Yeah.
someone.
Oh, thanks, Jess. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jess is there. Please, yes, please. So
But yeah, I mean, so go ahead.
definitely. So what I was just gonna say is, well, the preparation, do you take time in your preparation process for the movie, or you just go with it? Like, do you have intense rehearsals, or you just, what is the process?
I think this was the film where because it was we shot this also during COVID lockdown. We were stuck together. We had 12 hours of shoot. We shot in like 16, 17 days. I had to be prepared with the shots. Like I had to have a shot list. But aside from that, I really wanted to make the actors play. I really wanted them to have so much fun. They're so bonded. They're really super close, actually. Despite what you see in the film. And then also
Exactly.
the sorry,
It shows, exactly. It shows. It
yeah,
totally shows.
yeah. Even the actress who plays Dina, the best friend of Beanie, and the actress who plays the best friend of Janzen, she's actually in this movie Nocebo with Eva Green.
I was just gonna say she
Um,
was brilliant in Nocebo. I watched Nocebo and she's great,
yeah,
really.
I love her. Chai. So the character of Janzen is based in Cebu, so it's a different dialect. It's a different way of talking. I cannot understand Cebuano, actually. If, if you spoke to me in Cebuano. So Chai is native Cebuana, and she was actually on set too because EJ is also like me Tagalog. Um, so Chai was the coach of EJ in
Definitely.
the dialect. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna wrap, although I want to talk to you all day. We have to, but
Thank
I just
you.
enjoy this so much and I can't wait
Yeah,
to
this is great. This is a great conversation.
thank you.
Thank
It was a
you.
great conversation for me too. Thank you so much, really. Okay.